So we have somewhat of a weather treat for you. Again, if you're a fan of weather, you'll love to see this. Again, almost a picture-perfect example of what a mid-latitude cyclone looks like. You see those warmer temperatures kind of coming up ahead of that system. And as we kind of switch over to radar, you can actually see, again, the full extent of where this low-pressure system kind of makes its impacts. Seeing those showers and storms all the way from Houston up through the Mississippi River Valley in all the way up north to Canada. Again, seeing that system move across the entire United States, seeing that circulation actually in towards parts of Nebraska where they actually saw some blizzard conditions out in towards the western parts of Nebraska. Still hanging on to some of those blizzard warnings as we put the watches and warnings in effect. Again, you see the winter storm warnings for much of the northern plains. Then you kind of transition in towards the rain. The further south you go, actually seeing some of those tornado watches in effect for parts of East Texas and Louisiana, as well as some flood watches in towards parts of the southeast. Did see a few showers and storms kind of move through the Concho Valley earlier this morning. Those have since pushed well off towards the east. And again, with that, actually still seeing the possibility of some tornadoes developing as it moves in towards parts of Louisiana. So again, that system kind of moving out of the state of Texas and back behind it. Again, those clear skies that we saw for much of the day and much of the Concho Valley, again, building in along with those cooler temperatures, significantly drier. Again, we saw this yesterday, those dew points into the 50s, now into the 30s, low 30s, in fact, for those dew points. That's going to allow those temperatures to kind of drop even further as we go in towards the overnight lows. 62 degrees right now in downtown San Angelo. Those winds still pretty gusty out of the west. We've seen those breezy conditions. We're going to hang on to that for at least another 24 hours before we start to see those winds die down just a bit. 60s for the majority of the Concho Valley, 63 in Eden, same with Rady as well, 64 in Coleman, and 61 out in Sonora. So still hanging on to the mid to low 60s as we kind of go in towards the evening hours. And those winds, they're still going to persist. Seeing some of those gusts up to 24 miles per hour here in San Angelo, 27 in Big Lake. Those winds, again, we've seen them max out into the 30s for the majority of the area, a couple of 20s, as well as a gust of 40 out in Arizona. So we've been seeing some of those gusty winds across the area. They're going to continue as we go in towards the overnight hours. Mostly clear skies. We'll see those winds still out of the west with gusts up to 35 miles per hour possible. And by tomorrow afternoon, we'll start to see those winds decrease just a bit, but we will be hanging on to those mostly clear skies. Temperatures a little bit on the cooler side as well, only getting into the upper 50s for those afternoon highs. Those winds again staying out of the west. We'll see them gust through the overnight hours, and then by Wednesday and Thursday, start to die back down, get back into the single digits or in towards those low teens. So much more manageable as far as those winds are concerned. That low pressure system again continues to move across the northern parts of the United States. I'll move up in towards the Great Lakes area. Kind of settles us into a fairly cold pattern. We'll see those temperatures continuing to drop as we go through the next several days. In fact, we'll actually see those highs only reaching into the 50s for the next few days. Could see a little bit of a cloud coverage increase going in towards the weekend, but a very slim chance that we see any of those rain chances. We'll see a slight warm up kind of heading into the beginning of next week before our next cold front for Tuesday.